We're live. Good evening. Welcome to the Bubba and Johnny Warrior Show with our guest, Louie.
Louie. Hey. Yeah, okay. I tried.
Yeah, you'll never make it on American Idol, buddy.
Never.
So, tonight we are going to talk about the bird flu. Louie will tell you about herself, and then we'll, of course, talk about the bird flu, which Johnny will update us. Then we will be covering the Abu Sayyaf militants in Barcelona. Yep, they're still around, unfortunately. And after that, Louie will give you a money-saving tip or two, or three or four. However.
And then we're gonna all sing Louie.
That's right. We're all gonna sing Louie.
Louie. All right.
Louie sounds like she'd be good with that.
I'm not familiar with the song. Anyway. But everyone, whenever they meet me, they always say that song. Louie.
Yeah.
I think I need to find the original singer of that song.
It's called it's Kingpins are the original singer of that song.
Actually, I think it's the King's Men.
Or Kingsmen.
Kingsmen?
Yeah, that's it. Kingsmen.
All right.
So it's a very old song, but still very popular. Everybody knows it.
Except me.
Well, yeah, except for you. Everybody else does.
It probably depends on the age range.
So now that we know that she absolutely has no idea about who or what the song is, why don't she tell us a little bit about herself and what she does?
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Louie. Well, I'm a dentist, a professor also at the university. So I teach students from 4th year to 6th year of dental students. So usually my day goes around with dental works and teaching students. Most likely when I'm at home, I just do some home stuffs, check my hobbies like photography, movies, writing, and reading. So, and then I like going out, like going to nature trippings, traveling with families and friends. So basically, those are the things that I do. Much like a slam book.
Well, good. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. So you need, at least once in a while, you need to deviate from what you do to make things more interesting and different.
Definitely.
So what do you do? What do you do, Bubba, to make things more interesting?
I usually just get naked, paint myself blue, and run up and down the street, drinking a Red Horse.
Would that be like?
It amuses.
Would that leap instead of you're taking a Blue Man thing a little bit literal, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Blue Man group.
Blue Man's totally cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, how
Smart
about you,
concept.
what do you do to make things different?
What's that?
Ronnie, what does Johnny do to make things a little different?
What do I do? Oh, I like to. I don't know. I do things like sit around and watch paint dry. I like that. That's kind of cool. Watching water evaporate. It's kind of stimulating on Wednesdays.
How about how the rain falls during sunrise?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to explain what I do for entertainment. I mean, I do this with Bubba. This is cool. I enjoy doing this. And then I also like to, I do a lot of travel. My Asawa and I do a lot of travel. And yeah, and I do. I do a lot of articles and photography, and I just recently got hired on to start for a Asian travel magazine, and I gotta wait a little bit before I announce the name of it, but I'll be doing articles for them with my own photography, and I'm looking forward to that because I'm always all about travel. So that's kind of where my big focus is the travel, and right now the whole travel thing. But
That's very cool. I think I'll be a student of you about photography.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I love it. I did all the way back from high school. I did photography, so I've done it my entire life, and it's just been kind of a thing. And now, that I've completed an entire career, which is cool. Now I get to start a whole another one, and one has absolutely nothing to do with the other. Now I still get sucked into the old stuff once in a while on consultation and stuff like that, but usually life is good. Life is really at a good point for me. Never boring. Let me tell you that.
It's much better if your hobby turns into something that's profitable, diba? So usually you're happy, you're relaxed, and then you're having some extra money.
Oh yeah, and honestly, this whole thing with the magazine, it doesn't cost. They pay per article, and it's not a lot. But what they do is they help and they compensate for travel, or if they want me to go to a specific area, they pay for me to go to that area. So that in itself is worth it to me.
Yeah,
so.
It's like you're being paid for something that you love to do, diba?
Exactly.
Very good job.
Yeah. Everybody asked me why I didn't go teach, after I got out. And I can write very well, but my communication skills aren't the best anymore because one of the parts of my injury is I got a MTBI, or a brain injury. So sometimes I'll be tracking along real well, and then I space out, and I look like an absolute ass. I look like an idiot, and I'm like, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. So it doesn't really work for academics.
That comes naturally for me, looking like an ass. It's my gift.
Yeah. The 70s and the 80s were good for you.
Yes, they were. The 80s were better. Far better.
Far better.
Were the 80s good for you? Were the 80s good for you, Louie?
I'm not yet born in the 80s.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. Probably it's good for my parents.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, because it's the year that they met. So probably it's a good year for them, for me to be born in the 90s.
Yeah. The 90s were okay.
Yeah.
Not as good as the 80s, though.
All right, we're going to roll into one of the main topics that we're going to discuss today, and that is the bird flu. We have a little bit of an issue here in the Philippines that's probably going to end up having more of an economic rather than a public health impact. And we have two provinces, Pampanga and Nueva
Yeah,
there we go. The E one, not Vizcaya, the other one. And geographically, we're talking about areas that are circling or bordering or provincially just outside some major metropolitan areas. But what has happened is they had an emergence in Pampanga out of a town named San Luis of the influenza A serosubtype H5N1. Now, there's two types of avian bird flu, And one of them is H9N7, and that one's a little bit more rare and has a tendency to emerge more like in Africa and some of the Middle Eastern areas. The Asian strains and South American strains are the H5N1. And this is the one that they're a little concerned about because the way it is, its virulence as well as the way its protein structures are, and it has already made the leap or from bird into human transmission. It's just not very efficient at it, and it's been very minimal cases. So we're not saying, hey, wow, panic mode. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to explain a situation here where everybody needs to be publicly aware and actually take part in control measures related to this virus. Now, it's imperative that we have a little bit of a discussion at what the potentials we're talking about here, as well as what the government is doing to help control this. So let's first talk about exactly what we're talking about with bird flu and potentials. And bird flu, just as the name would say, actually is a zoonotic virus of influenza that will do mass kill-offs of avian populations, both migratory birds, but predominantly poultry industry because of close proximity of the birds, and it runs through. Now, of the disease, the last count that I read right before, a couple hours before I came on, was 37,000 birds. That's not culling operations, because between yesterday and today, in order to maintain quarantine, they had to do something called culling, killing the bird, 300,000 birds in order to maintain quarantine for the areas that we're talking. Now, why do we do this? Well, historically, there was an influenza strain called the Spanish flu, and some of you may know it if you take the flu virus, because it's one of the the flu vaccine, because it's one of the flu strains that we vaccinate regularly because it's more prolific and in flu season. And there's the swine flu, Spanish flu, type A, type B. So Spanish flu is one of them. Back in 1918. There was an initial emergence of the Spanish flu. That was the Great Flu Pandemic, meaning that it went across the world. It went from one continent to another because they had the World Fair that year. A lot of people came from Europe, had the flu, and at that time they were coming across in boats. A lot of the populations, they didn't quarantine efficiently, and there was a large outbreak in the U.S. as well. So a huge impact of human population was hit in 1918, 1919, to the point where, it set a human population growth back almost a decade. So we're talking a large human mortality rate. Now, nowadays, we think of the flu, it's like, I'm down in bed, right, for 3 days and I'm good to go. Well, when these newer forms of flu or these newer emerging diseases come out, we need to understand that these are, emerging diseases. They're inefficient and unevolved. All right. What do I mean by inefficiency? The objective of a disease or any virus is not really to kill the host. It's to infect the host, continue a life cycle, then reinfect the host as well as infect new hosts. So its virulence, it's becoming more and more virulent is its objective. Okay, so if killing off the host is not being very efficient, it's not being very, yeah, exactly. You start killing off the host, you got no host, right? So as a virus evolves, it starts to develop virulence, infectability, but it starts dropping off in symptomology. The symptoms become less and less. So, the good news is at a certain point, even H5N1 is going to become just like swine or Spanish flu is today. All right. meaning that, only generally the very old and the very weak and the very young fall to, influenza. But what we're talking about here is at the current stage that it is if we cannot keep it zoonotic and it does make the jump and becomes proficient in human transmission, this is another one of those Spanish flu, kill-offs is the only nice way to put it. I mean, it's going to be very substantive in a pandemic mode because 1918 still got it across. Nowadays, we got so many jetliners and so many people traveling in all parts of the world. This stuff will compound and become such an issue that it will be a global event. So that's why it is such a focus in order to control and quarantine, because nobody knows the answer if it makes the jump. Now, it could be like, guys, if you remember Ebola, do you remember Ebola?
Yes.
Okay. There was a strain of Ebola called Ebola Reston, and it was actually named after an event that happened in Reston, Virginia, where there was some monkeys that had somehow got bribed through and pulled through quarantine, came to the U.S. under quarantine, and became infected with a new strain of Ebola. Now that Ebola became airborne, scared the living crap out of the Centers for Disease Control in the U.S. I mean, boom. But the protein spikes in which it developed in order to become airborne caused it to be more virulent but non-lethal to humans. So humans were contracting Ebola and only having flu-like symptoms. Now, primates were still dying off like it was cool within the quarantine center. To this day, they haven't leveled that. They gassed the place to sterilize it, and they sealed it up, and it's still sealed behind concertina wire and everything. They're that scared that this thing could get out. And this was years ago, decades ago, that this happened. So that's an example of nobody knows what's going to happen. Ebola is well, now even less lethal than it was when it first emerged, but it's still a hemorrhagic fever that wreaks havoc. It has a high mortality rate, and nobody knows what's going to happen with influenza. Could it just make the leap and become another like current swine flu or current Spanish flu and not be lethal to humans? Sure, nobody knows, but do we want to take the risk? That's the big thing. Exactly. So what do we do to control it? Well, the Department of Health here in the Philippines has done what's called culling operations in order to kill off the population of potentially infected birds. So instead of risking testing, 1.5 to 2 million birds, they're just going in and going through the poultry industry and whacking off 1 to 2 kilometers, right, radius from the epicenters of positive tests in the birds. Now, like for instance, the new province that came out, there was 3 that were tested positive in 3 different areas. They will go 1 and 2 kilos in radius around that and kill off all the poultry within that little radius in order to control this. If they have to go further, they will, and then they'll continue a testing program. Both at least they've done. It's been pretty good at, controlling it. But the back end thing is there's going to be more of an economic effect because we're feeling it now. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm hearing or I read that Jollibee's is having is not serving chicken because of its availability or something like that. Isn't it affecting to that level now?
I don't
I'm not
know.
quite sure, but I don't think so because I just ate fried chicken joy yesterday.
Chicken choy.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, do not panic because Louis had chicken joy yesterday. So everything's good to go. Go get some chicken joy.
How they say, diba? Once the virus or the meat are well cooked or well prepared, usually the virus will not stay alive because they're very prone or weak at high temperature. So probably the best preventive measure is first know where the chicken are coming, and then second, make sure that the food are well prepared because any raw food, even an avian flu or any other virus or any other bacteria or virus can cause sickness to people.
I tell you what, I love
Excellent.
Jollibee. When people say fine, when people want fine dining in the Philippines, I just say you got to go to Jollibee's.
Because it tastes like very Pinoy.
Yes, it does.
You know what I had for lunch today?
Chicken.
Hell no, I went to Zubuchan. I got me some lechon. Some of that crispy. Oh, yes. That Cancun adobo. And I love Zubuchan. See, that's the one thing. Yeah, the Cebu's lechon is the
Yeah, I
best
know
I've
that.
had in the Philippines.
My lunch was better. I had coffee and a smoke. I'm trying to watch those calories.
That's caffeine and nicotine at the same time. I think you should.
I love coffee.
I think
Oh
you
my!
had pasta and what? Daing the bangus, fried fish for lunch.
Now, are you one of those Filipinos that they'll eat the small fish and it's full of bones, and you spend more time picking the meat, picking the bones out than you actually do eating?
I like filet. I like daing, the bone of fish.
Ah, okay. Oh, that's very Western. It's very American, isn't
Really?
it, Johnny? Oh God, yeah. In America, we usually buy fillets. Fish is usually filleted in America.
But I'm
Hey,
the one who
Bubba,
filleted it.
Bubba, I'll be back in just a minute. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll be back in just a second.
Not a problem, brother. Take your time, man.
Sure.
Nope. But yeah,
We're-
I'm like that too. Most people in America, we eat our fish filleted.
Mhm.
We don't, because I look at it like this: if I want to spend more time working than actually eating, I'll eat crabs. Well, unless it's crab cakes.
Because if I buy already filleted fish, usually I'm not sure if it's fresh or not. So if I can buy at the port, so I'm sure that it's fresh. So when I fillet if it's fresh because the meat is not pounded or it's not soft, more firm.
Huh.
So there.
Do you like arroz caldo? Did I even say that right?
Yeah, I like arroz caldo.
Now, what is that
Lugaw.
exactly?
Actually, you have three: arroz caldo, lugaw, and goto. They're all the same. They're like porridge, but the difference is on what type of meat is present. If it's arroz caldo, it's chicken. If it's goto, it's like beef or intestines.
Okay, lugaw. Lugaw.
Lugaw, plain, just lugaw, just simple lugaw. But usually they
Okay.
mix tokwat baboy, tofu um with lugaw. So
All
usually
right,
it's in
lugaw.
yeah. Can always
Okay.
see, but technically they're all the same.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So
Okay.
that.
So now let me ask you
Mhm.
this.
All right.
Okay. They have not solved the problem in Marawi yet. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is, but as long as that goes on, there'll be martial law here.
Actually, I
So
think so.
yes,
So
but here's the thing.
mhm.
As long as there's martial law, if I'm not mistaken, there's no habeas corpus then, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, okay. And what do you think about that?
Well, it depends. It not on your place. We're not in Mindanao, and we're not experiencing the situation or what's everyone experiencing. It's very hard for us to judge right or wrong. Well, as long as the martial law is implemented right,
Yeah.
because even if we try to reject or go away with the martial law, we're not the one who are bombed. We are not the one who are attacked.
Yeah.
I don't think we can comment so much, but all we can do is just watch over and make sure that everything, or just see or be aware that everything is and no one is being violated. Because I have a lot of friends from Mindanao, and all they say to me is that it's peaceful there. So I don't think, probably it's just a localized problem, certain areas that's uncontrolled.
Okay. Yeah, I just look at it like this. As long as it goes on, there's martial law. And
Mm-hmm.
Duterte said, "Oh, just basically starve them out. If it takes a year, that's fine."
Yeah,
But
as long
I'm just kind of like, well, great, yeah, as long as you can keep martial law in place, And
yeah,
what happens if the MPA does a strike, say Luzon? Is he going to declare martial law there too and tell the ARP the same thing? That is ARP, right? Army of the
AFP.
Republic of the Philippines. AFP. I'm sorry, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Okay, ARP. AARP. That's an organization in America. I think
Yeah, that's one that you definitely have the gold card on, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, not yet. I know a couple. I'm sure a few in our audience have them though. AARP. It's like an old people organization. Anyway, I was just asking what her opinion was of continuing martial law.
Okay, can I ask you a question though? If you asked her for her opinion and you're
Mhm.
yapping, how are you letting her give you her opinion?
Because she already gave it, I
Oh,
believe.
okay. All right.
You were gone, Johnny. If you were around, you would have heard it.
Well, I know I came on and all I heard was you yap 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 yap, and she's like, I want to talk.
Okay.
So now, in other news, are you done with the bird flu thingy?
Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, wait. No, preventive measures, guys. Look, listen. Right,
Mm-hmm.
washing your hands. Okay, when you're in, you know, traveling, making sure. Look, hand sanitizer is your best friend in situations like this. Okay, maybe we do not contract the disease ourselves, but what we can end up being is a host of the disease, as well as transmitting the disease through, our hands or other things. So if you are provincial and, you know, I don't know, sticking your fingers in chicken butts or something like I don't know, whatever you do with chickens, right? Then you turn around and, you need to wash your hands and make sure that you're using contact surfaces are washed and cleaned. And just like Louis was saying, it's important to make sure that hot foods are hot, make sure that they're cooked all the way through, make sure that you know the origin of where your foods are coming from, etc. So this is how we're going to control it, is through sanitation and public awareness.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to do it. So keep your ear to the ground, listening for news about it. Keep aware of it. Keep educated of it. Make sure you wash your hands a little bit more OCD than you normally do, guys. I know, Eric, you're totally OCD, and you probably wash your hands 3 times every time you just touch the doorknob after twisting the doorknob 3 times. But go ahead and do it anyway, and we'll do our part to help control it. Okay.
You forgot one thing, Johnny. Don't run around sticking your finger in chickens' butts or any other butts for that matter. Beast or person.
Actually, they say that all people thought that the butt is the most stinkiest part of the body or the dirtiest part of the body. But if it's the oral cavity or it's the mouth.
Oh
In
my
terms of
gosh, I cannot believe we're gonna have the butt conversation in this form.
Dude, she's hired.
I'm
You heard it from a professional dentist. The mouth is nastier than the butt. The butt is a fly zone.
In terms of the amount of bacteria present. So yeah.
That's funny.
You can hear John. Okay, guys, did you hear Bubba in the background? She said butt.
That's funny. Oh, okay. Man, it's really hard to continue after that. So we could really digress, but we're not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In other news, in Basilan, in Muluso town, they had about 20 Abu Sayyaf gunmen open fire on villagers this morning at about 5-6 a.m. And of course, they fled like they usually do, and are being pursued. But they killed at least 9 people and wounded 16 others. So they're still around, and they're still rats, and they're still running to their holes. How much longer? Here's the thing: how many of them are there actually still left in Marawi? And you got to wonder if the ones that attacked this village were actually in Marawi and managed to
escape.
Yep.
Now, you remember, I'm going to pick your brain a little bit, Bubba, but you remember the original conversation that we had when they started Marawi City, and we talked about operational objectives, right? So, the Philippines had 2 choices. They could either do, pushing operations, pushing the Islamic extremists, because it's not just Abu Sayyaf that's involved with this. There's, key ISIS elements, foreign fighters, MNLF, all the MILF, all these other Maute, they're all in on this stuff. Well, they could have came in and did a pushing operation, pushing them into Sulu and then pushing them into Indonesia and Malaysia, causing, just them to reconsolidate and, come back into ARM and Sulu, into the ARM region, maybe even better prepared, and with some more technical skills because they learned a few things from the last conflict. Or they could cordon and, hammer and nail all these guys and pound their bones into dust. And it's obvious that the administration has chosen to cordon and hammer and anvil. All right. So just like what you're seeing in Marawi, it takes longer. Now, if you look at history in Fallujah, the same type of scenario with the Marines. They had to go basically building to building to building to ensure that they were getting any innocent civilians out. They, cornered them into an isolated part of Fallujah, and then they basically leveled it. All right, with artillery. It was a beautiful thing. And, that's kind of what you're having to deal with, and it takes time because urban combat, right, is not a fast-paced, fast-moving. It's not even really highly strategic. It's just brute force. It's inch by inch, room by room, hall by hall, you know. And you may take one room and be stuck in that room for, you know, a 24 to 48 hour period just to keep the room, keep that position, and until you get the angle on the next one to where you can get reinforcements or get the right fire angle to take the next one. So there's an art to this, and they're not doing it alone. So, and they're being effective because, you know, the toll ratio has been greatly reduced. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed? Okay. So we already know who's in play here, right? We understand that without having to say, oh, yo, whatever. So we already know what's going on, and we already know that they're doing pretty heavy air support into the area. Look, the end result is they're going to get these guys. Marawi City is going to be taken back. Is Marawi City going to look like Marawi City when they're done? No. They already said the three, you know, I saw some of the pictures coming out of the footage coming out of Marawi and the three little neighborhoods that these guys are in, right? Mm-hmm. And it looks like Fallujah. It does, you know, and there's bombed out equipment and there's freaking, you know, down buildings, and it's not a pretty sight. But they have, if this is the type of warfare that they've chosen to deal with these guys, they can't back off and start pushing operations, because now you have people that have an element of knowledge in tactical operations. They survived it and they gain this experience, and then they are allowed to transfer this experience. And it's almost like roach evolution, dude. You use one insecticide to kill roaches too long, they become immune to it.
Yep,
and then they come back. All right, well, it's the same theory relative to these roaches. You know, so you have to kill them. You have to eradicate them. You have to get them. That's just the way, you know, and it's really the only way to deal with these people.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. You know, they don't play by the rules. Mm. So therefore, as far as I'm concerned, you can't really treat them like you would, say, in a conventional war, where the Geneva Convention is observed.
Well, there's nothing linear or symmetrical on this. That's why they call it asymmetrical warfare. You know, there's nothing conventional.
Yes, which is a shame. Now, it still doesn't look as bad as Berlin, I don't think, in 1945. or Nagasaki or Hiroshima. They look much worse. But the nice part is, so Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they didn't have to do a whole lot of cleanup. They were pretty much just able to start building new buildings right away.
Because everything is cleaned up.
Oh, yeah.
So in essence, what you want to see done in Marawi City is the U.S. military give the Philippines a Disneyland bomb. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, yeah.
So it comes in, levels everything, and then builds a Disneyland right there for everybody.
Oh, yeah, with a nice golf course.
Okay.
A couple nice golf courses. Well, you know what? Financially, that would be awesome for the country. It would add jobs. It would create more opportunities. And it would bring in a whole lot more dollars. Because after all, who in the hell wants to visit Marawi now? Or even before, who wanted to visit Marawi?
Well, talking about Disneyland, did you know that there has been a corporate entity buying up, made a major purchase around Laguna? You know, south. Yeah. Am I saying it right? Laguna? South of Manila?
Yeah.
Come to find out, you know who that major corporation was? Obviously, I gave it away. It's Disneyland. But Disney has purchased a huge amount of property down there around Laguna, and the residents of Laguna are in anticipation that they're going to start building some type of entertainment, whether it's a Disneyland or Philippines or whatever, right? I don't know. But they're planning on doing some type of development down there under Disney corporate type. You know, who knows what they're about.
Actually, our clinic is in Laguna.
See?
It's at the south. Yeah, it's in Southwoods area, and the area also is developing. I think Mega World is the one that who owned the area, and they're trying to develop the area.
I just think about it though, Louis. Here pretty soon, you know, you're gonna have like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse coming in as your.
That's my patient.
Yeah, there you go.
And they may be in favor to me because they have a very large teeth, and I can fix it easily.
What's the name of that? What's the name? Frozen, right? What's the name of the two characters in Frozen? Anna, and darn it. Oh, anyway, I can hear that going up and down the streets 24/7. Like that would just drive me nuts. Being here in Cebu, Sinulog, right? In the new year. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely awesome. Except when you live here and you hear the beating of those drums and that music 24/7 for 2 weeks straight.
I haven't been to Cebu for Sinulog, but I've traveled there at the South Cebu, and it's very good. And the beaches are great.
Oh, I love Cebu. I love it here. If the crime wasn't so bad, and you know, if they stopped killing Kanos here, I'd actually stay.
But the traffic is bad too. At the city.
Now you're from Laguna, right? Or that's your now. Are you from there? You're not from there originally, correct, Louis?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not from here originally. I stay at Manila.
Where?
And Manila for when I teach, and then I'm at Laguna when I'm in clinic.
Okay. Now, where were you raised at?
Manila.
Oh, okay. Okay. Lovely city. I love the clean air up there. Hey, loved your show earlier, brother. I listened to it.
Oh, my Expat TV. You like the content to that? I'm keeping it kind of. I'm keeping it in that realm where it's just information and topics, and you know. So I'll have the Adventures of Johnny Warrior, which is my travel channel, right? And then the Expat TV will have all my live casts, and it will have videos on it. But those particular videos will be like how-to videos, like, oh, hey, you know, how to do immigration in the Philippines or something like that. You know what I mean? So here soon, I know that it seems like every other week I'm changing my format, but it's settling down. But the move is the last big change. And I got everything now situated where I can split. I can do all my outdoor stuff over on Thunderbird Outdoor Adventures, the bushcraft, all the travel on the Adventures of Johnny Warrior, and then the Expat. You know, I got almost 4,000 subscribers on the Adventures of Johnny Warrior now.
Awesome.
Wow.
And yeah, and I'm just under 400,000 views now, so I'm coming up quick on 500,000.
That's great. Yeah, my other channel, I've got 106 subscribers, or no, 108. But I have to add to that, and obviously I got to add to this. I got 6, but it's all right. It won't take too long.
No, it'll build, man. Look, the Expat TV, right? I obviously when I dumped everything and changed it, you know, people started whatever. I'm already back up to 157, if I remember right. I think it's 157. Yeah, I think it's 157. Cool. So you know, I'm already back to 157 on that one. You know, and everybody knows it's not drama, so they can't be in there looking for that. So,
hey, are you able to see the chat, the live chat, Louis?
I'm not able to see it.
You're on your phone.
I'll check it on my phone.
Oh, are you on your phone or are you on a laptop?
My laptop. I'm on my laptop.
Okay, if you open another browser window, I sent you the link on the Google's chat box.
All right.
Like if Johnny and I want to say something to each other in private, we'll either say it on this or we'll say it in Facebook.
Okay. I
But
need to see.
we got a listener who has a question.
Uh-huh. Send the link on YouTube, right?
What's that?
You sent the link on YouTube.
Yes, I said yes. It should be the Bubba and Johnny Warrior show.
Right.
Johnny, you need to do a video or show by Peso Clothing at the Ukai Ukai shops. How to get a really, really, really cool dead man's corduroy jacket to wear in the Philippines during the summer season.
Okay, I already saw it, the live chat.
Why'd you retract that, James? That was awesome.
Yeah, James. Spoiled sport. Okay, Robert, I had a question for you.
Robert. Wait, I need to find out where's the question. Robert.
Robert's asking if you want to date Popeye.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Bubba, let her speak. Ah, Bubba, sir. Where is he from?
Robert,
Florida.
He lives in Florida. He's retired. He's retired Navy. Which now the Army, Navy, and Marines are real armed forces in the United States. The Coast Guard isn't, because they're under the Department of Treasury.
Oh.
Transportation. Well, actually, no. They're now they're under Homeland Security now. They used to be Department of Transportation. Now they're under Homeland Security. They're an arm of Homeland Security.
All they do is chase cigarette boats around the Florida Keys. Come on, man. Give me a break.
Dude, come on. Tubbs, Crockett and Tubbs. Oh, no, that's Miami Vice.
Oh, they were awesome. They were awesome. But, yeah. Okay, so now we could do Louie's money-saving tip or tips.
Tips. Well, actually, it's just basic principles of saving. So usually during payday, what we do is just have the pay and then pay it to everyone. Just buy and buy and buy. So usually what my brothers tell me, because they're an accountant, so they just give me some tips on how to do it. And then they always say that you should have your allocation rule. So you allocate at least 5 things. So it's either first, the most important, your bills. So you allocate something for your bills. You allocate something for your emergency fund, or these are the money that you save for emergency purposes only. And then next is your leisure or a travel fund, whatever leisure or what you're having. And then next is your personal goals.
Okay, and what are some of your personal goals?
Well, I'm planning to have a car at the end of the year or probably next year.
Okay.
If I achieve that amount of money, yeah. So I allocate every month or every payday, I allocate certain amount. One is for my bills, one is for the fund, and a percentage will go directly for my goal, which is to have my own car at the end of the year or probably next year. So
okay.
There.
Are you saving up for that Lamborghini?
It's far from having that one. Maybe a basic car.
Okay. Now what is a basic car to a Filipino?
Well, it depends on your needs, diba? So for me, I usually go for, I want more than a sedan, a higher. So it should be more flood friendly. So I'm looking for an HRV or probably a Ford EcoSport. So there. A little bit higher than a car, a regular sedan car.
Okay. That's understandable. So you want something a little bit, which, Johnny, what would be a little bit bigger than a sedan here? I don't really know the cars here that well. I mean, what they call.
I don't know, man. Because honestly, you know what I want more than anything?
What?
I want a Ducati. I so want a Ducati. Going up to Baguio on a Ducati. I know, Eric, what you're going to say. But going up into Baguio or coming back down from Baguio into Solano on a Ducati, just to make those disc brakes glow just a little bit would be absolutely awesome. So my plan is a bike, not so much the car. But a little bit bigger than a sedan, you would have to do like one of the micro SUVs that they got out. A Mahindra and Kia has two really cost-effective and good versions of that.
Yeah, I'm looking for an EcoSport or probably a Tucson, Kia, or a Honda HRV.
Just get a BMW and get it over with. You know you want one.
Yeah, probably in the future, but not now.
Yeah, it's funny. I hardly see any BMWs or Mercedes here. It's rare. In Florida, man, they were like a dime a dozen.
Oh, they're here. You're just in vow, dude. Come on, let's be real. I mean, you get a. Trust me, they're. I was here in Cebu. I've seen a Ferrari here. Believe it or not, I saw a Ferrari in Cebu. And then the newer Nissan, that real sporty, high-end, expensive Nissan that they got, the sports car. I saw one of those just the other day.
I just saw a Mustang earlier at the Tagaytay.
Yeah,
you have a lot of sports when you go to the Tagaytay. You can see a lot.
See, that's what you need, Louis, is you need a BMW. You need to be pimping a ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Get yourself a silver convertible. Thump that music while you're pulling up to the university. I'm telling you right now, get some bling on you.
Oh yeah.
I'll be a head turner to everyone.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm getting me a bike. When I personally go to the vehicle thing, because of the scenario that I'm in, it's either going to be a van or a truck. I love trucks. Not that I have to get a truck. I probably more would need a van than a truck. But a truck is just awesome. Dude, come on.
I don't know, dude. It's tough with you because, I mean, you're so small, you might have to, I mean, they don't have phone books here, brother. What are you going to sit on so you can see over the steering wheel?
Are you talking to me or Louis?
I'm talking to you, man.
Dude, I'm 6'4", man.
I know.
I need a truck. I want a truck with a 4-inch lift and big old freaking mutters on it. And you know what? Me and you will go by Louis' freaking, after pick her up from the university and let her try to crawl up into that thing and drive it.
There we go.
That'll be funny.
Yeah, it would. Bring the phone book.
I think I need portable stairs so I could crawl up on your truck.
That's funny. Yeah, I can't see you driving one of them little rinky-dink little, what they call a pickup here, bro. I mean, I don't even know what to call one of those things because it's not a truck. Because you could fit one of those trucks in like a F-250 or a 350.
Yeah. Hey, Robert. Actually, no. Hummers are nice, but you know what I had before I came here was a Dodge 2500 with the diesel with the Cummins 4x4, and I had a nice 3-inch lift on that bad boy. And it had the heavy-duty transmissions, and I loved it. I love my truck. The quad cab was absolutely perfect for me. I could stretch out. I had plenty of leg room. When I could throw my bags in the back, and I loved it. It was perfect. I would be in heaven if I could get another Dodge 2500 Cummins over here. I'd be in heaven.
Okay.
I'm hearing Mickey. Is that Mickey?
No, that's actually not. He's actually quiet. That is actually my niece.
Ah, I thought it's Mickey.
So, okay.
Good.
I'm actually typing to
We're
somebody in the chat. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, but we're about at that 1 hour mark, and we committed to making it about an hour. So we need to go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right.
Okay. Okay. First off, did you enjoy it, Louis? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it's quite interesting talking to you both. And it's also interesting reading on the chats.
What's
I
that?
haven't been reading on the chat. I didn't see it earlier. So it's only now that I'm reading all the chats here.
Yeah, that's what's kind of nice about Johnny's not really big into the chat thing too much, whereas I'm more of the kind of guy who engages. So it's kind of like we kind of complement each other very well.
I really think so. I'll
So, and we enjoyed having you with us tonight. And after we end stay on after I end the show, and we'll talk. Okay.
all right.
Okay. Any final thoughts, Louis?
Actually, thoughts. Well, the show gives me an outlook on how other people are foreign, like expats, like on how they see the Philippines, and it's quite interesting to know that you are also interested on how things are going in our country. So I'm happy to know that you also have the concern, like we are all having in this country. So there.
Okay. Awesome,
Awesome.
Johnny.
No, I think I'm excited. Look, I hope Louis, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you want to come back more because I think the three of us make a pretty good element here, and it's more entertaining than Bubba just going.
Hey, man, at least you don't hear the fan.
That's true. Oh man.
All right.
Okay, anything else? Johnny?
I'm good. How about
Is
you?
that it? Okay, me?
Nah, I think
Well,
we're good.
I just want to say it's great that we're back. You know, it's completely new beginnings. It's like Johnny and I are together again, and hopefully with Louis as well. And I really enjoyed tonight's show. And I think it's awesome to have a female perspective as well as a Filipina perspective on things other than just hearing what us expats think. This way the audience gets to hear a female perspective and a native of the
Yeah.
Republic of the Philippines. So, but thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate each and every one of you. And may the sun be shining wherever you may be. Y'all take care and talk to you soon. Friday morning, Johnny and I will resume our Conspiracy Theory Friday show at 10 a.m. Philippines time.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to talk about MK Ultra, Project MK Ultra this Friday.
We are?
Yeah. What, did you have something else in mind?
No, I when did we talk about MK Ultra, dude?
I was actually going to do that this past Friday.
Oh, okay. I'm catching up. All right, man. That's good.
So, okay. But anyway, everybody take care. May God grant you happiness and health and Godspeed. And may the sun be shining wherever you may be. And thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.